What was your reaction? What was your reaction to the final statement when Julie says, "I pick up the phone and call Children's Services"?
I felt like I was definitely very, very proud of Julie, and I did not think that was how the end of the book was gonna go. I thought that Julie was just gonna like leave it alone and like not say anything, but then also I thought that Julie was gonna do something, and I'm glad she did, so that she can get Tina out of that situation. It left me on a cliffhanger. Like I was really upset when I read it. I wanted to keep reading it, and like Megan said, I wish Julie would have done that like before or whatever, and not right at the end of the book because I wanted to know more of what happened. And I'm like proud of Julie in a way because she actually stepped up and is now living the life that she always wanted to because children aren't suffering like she was.
I definitely agree with all of those. I think Julie should have done it before, but then again, she didn't talk to her mom for several years anyway. So it's not like she didn't see, she saw it coming, honestly, that her mom was going to find new kids to abuse. But she should have like called the first time that she went to go see her mom when she saw everything happening and didn't wait until the end. But it is a very good thing that she did do it. She just should have done it earlier.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like from the beginning of the book to now, you can just tell a big growth from Julie and how now she's okay. She's gonna call child services and like snitch on her mom about everything she's done, like she should have done in the beginning, like April said. But she's a lot of growth from Julie, which is really good. And like Ashley said, she'll be living the life she's always wanted.
I agree with Vanessa and April on how it showed her growth. I ain't gonna lie, I just read the end of the book about 6 minutes ago, and I was definitely shocked when she said she was gonna call child services on her own mom.
I said, I feel like Julie and Tina are going to have a way better life away from her parents because she won't be getting abused constantly.
Do you think Ed will stay with the mom if she gets Tina taken away?
See.
I don't think that Ed will stay with the mom because, in a way, I think Ed wanted to stop it, even though he was like sticking up for his the mom when Julie was over, and he just kept like saying, like, no, she's a good mom, she does all of this, but I think Ed, in a way, to me, just I don't think he'll stay. I don't know. I don't think he really cares that much because on 239, it says the children are not adopted; they're distant relatives, and they're removed from his side, so she's not even his kid. Yeah. So I honestly like he cares about her obviously, but he doesn't care that mom's doing what she's doing. So if she's gone, it's not going to make a difference. I mean, he might stay with her, he might not, because it also says that he like didn't even want to get married to her. So if he leaves, it wouldn't be a surprise. He has every right to leave her, so he should.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Like what you just said, do you think Ed will leave with the kids and just leave mom to like switch it? Just so the kids are like safe or whatever.
I don't think he would because then that's more money for him to fix what mom did to her. And I don't think he has that money.
I feel like Ed doesn't realize what mom's doing. Yeah. Like he has absolutely no idea. Yeah. Because he's been house for like 30 years.
Actually, to go off what Megan said on 239, it actually says Sandy's Ed's first real girlfriend, and he's lived with his parents until he's in his 30s. And Ed wouldn't recognize child abuse if it slapped him upside the head. So obviously, Ed doesn't realize what mom is doing. So I think he'll stay. I think he'll stay just because he'll probably help Sandy try and get Tina back, even if there's no chance of it.
I agree with Megan and Vanessa saying, I don't think he knew what he got himself into. And like April said, I think he likes some kids because they are blood they're not like your own kids, you know. And on top of that, This man is just there's I think there's one page I was reading it and he just says you just gotta agree with Sandy and agree with her
I
and
know
then
what
you
you're
know
talking about.
yeah, so basically he's just agreeing with whatever she does because he want that
I feel like Ed will. Can you repeat your question? I guess one more time.
Do you think Ed will stay with mom if Tina gets to be on it?
Yeah, I think he'll stay with mom because maybe they'll have a couple more
Yes.
kids together. Maybe
nah
I don't know.
she seemed
But the first two weren't even his kids though.
I know, but they could still have kids.
She's
They
old.
have kids
It's
of
too
their
late.
own.
Yeah, they could have a kid of their own
but they old though.
and start over life.
That kid's gonna be messed up just like Tina.
Yeah.
Coming out of the mom.
I
all the
think-
drugs in her.
Julie.
I think Ed will stay with mom because he doesn't know what's going on, obviously, on whatever page that was. I don't remember what page it was. But when he said that I lost it.
You're talking about 239.
It's something you said and
Yeah,
I
it's on
was gonna go
239.
along with it and then I lost
Ed
it.
wouldn't recognize a child abuse. Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about?
Yep, that quote. I think I don't know. I think he will stay, but I don't think they'll have any more kids since he's like in the house.
Alright, so my question is, how is mom's relationship with her new husband the same as it was with Julie's dad?
How is it different?
How is it the same?
The same.
She makes him here she tells him to come into the kitchen. 236, yep. She makes him like defend her just like she did with the other guy, I don't remember his name. She makes him do everything that she made the other one do. And nothing has changed with her and her husbands because they're boyfriends or whatever you want to call them. Because she still makes them defend her and not the kids. Because she's just sick-minded.
Or if you don't think it's the same, like, why is it different from the old relationship?
So I think it's the same. I mean, the only different thing is that Ed doesn't really, or not Ed, whatever his name is, doesn't really, I don't think they necessarily realize what's going on, other than she's just crazy. But I think Daniel said earlier how someone agrees with her or whatever to defend Sandy. And like what April's saying, nothing has changed between, they're going to make the kids seem in the wrong and not Sandy, because that's just how she is.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna agree with both April and Vanessa. I think her mom was just got them dumbfounded or something. Like she got them in a mindset where it's all right to do things to these kids, and you just doing it. I wouldn't say necessarily out of love for her, but it's definitely something for Sandy.
I feel like they're the same because she's still abusive to everybody.
I'm thinking both ways. I'm thinking she's the same because she's still like making Ed do the same things that she made Dad do. But also, I don't see Ed beating the kids because he's too nice to do that. So that's another way that they're like different.
I said mom brainwashed both of them. We see that mom forces on page 238 how she forces Ed to like be her husband because she bought the ring and all of this and just started using his last name. And then I also said, just like Dad, they both stick up for mom even though they knew mom was in the wrong. And then I said her new husband is brainwashed because both husbands knew what mom would do if she didn't stick up for her, which was to try to kill herself.
Okay. Okay. Why do you think mom was having all the medical issues that she was having? Like on page 232.
Oh, yeah. From the same, so in an aspect, I feel like from making Julie sick, she could be making herself sick. that kind of sounds weird. But I was kind of confused at this part to where it just because with everything that happened to Julie, having the mom be sick out of nowhere, I mean, other than her sick mind, um, it was just weird because now Julie has to check up on Sandy and not the other way around. Now Julie has to come and check on Danny and Sandy. And there was a page, I was talking to Daniel about it earlier, I think it was like 199 maybe. It was something like that, but it said, shoot, I don't know. It said, do you remember what page it was?
I don't know the page, but I don't know what he was talking about. They were saying that Danny called Sissy to make sure that to get the pills and the gun out of Sandy's hands so she doesn't basically.
Oh, 199.
That's what it was. Yeah, I think it was something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, but how Julie now has to come back and take care of Sandy and Danny, even after everything that's happened. Having her be sick, I feel like takes a toll on Julie even more now. Because technically they're both sick.
3 words. Karma is
A dog.
karma showed back on her, and she was treating like these when kids were sick, but came back for her. Came back and struck her right up Main Street, got her, and she's missing her rib now.
Alright, Blake.
Alright, I feel like all those pills that she's been taking probably is starting to have an effect on her body. And I think that's why she's been getting sick.
I agree with Vanessa and Blake. I think she is like taking pills and it's making her just more crazy. But then I also agree with Vanessa, and I think that I forgot.
Why do you think mom is having all the medical issues that she's having?
Oh, and I also think that I agree with Vanessa because stop.
I feel like, because I don't know, your question just sparked something in my head. What if Julie wasn't sick all along, but it was just the mom's problems, and the mom would always tell the doctor, this is what's wrong with her, but it was actually what the mom was feeling. So, that, that's just my, like, I don't know, it's just something to think about.
Yeah, and with that, I was thinking about like how we talked about like mom taking the medications that she was being prescribed, and like is that what's causing it? But, yeah. Okay. So I said that she's having all the issues because of the medication that Julie was prescribed, and now she's taking all of them at once, not realizing what the bottle says probably because it's all just lined up on that little curio cabinet thingy. And she just takes them just to take them.
Yeah.
So I think it's just all the medications that Julie was prescribed before. And now now that she doesn't have her daughter there to torture, she's just doing it to herself.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions this one. I'm not even sure what to do. So on page 199 is what I meant to say. Danny is acting like he couldn't remember anything that happened to him and Julie. Why? Why do you think that Danny is doing that? Was it to not relive it, or?
Because he's scared. I ain't gonna lie. Look, as a boy, and like something happened to you, like something like real bad happened to you. As a man, maybe just like in a manly mindset, my ego is worth a lot more than anything physical in this world. And growing up as a boy and some like getting beat up or tortured or whatever you want, getting abused, that don't look to me. I don't know. Like as a man, in a man's perspective, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't tell you about that. That's some secret I keep to myself. So I think it was just his ego. He just saying no, that never happened. No, he doesn't want to think about it.
Can you repeat your question?
So why do you think on page 199 Danny is acting like he couldn't remember anything that happened to him and Julie?
I feel like he's just gonna try to forget about it and then move on until I don't know. Yeah, he's just gonna try to move on.
I think he doesn't want to remember it because of the bad memories that comes with it, obviously getting beat and all that. But I also think that he was too young to remember some of it, so he doesn't remember half of it because he was too young to even like comprehend what was going on.
I don't know. Growing up, I had a lot of stuff that happened with my family, and when somebody brings it up, I always just want to say no, like that never happened, because I don't want to relive it, or I just want to forget about it and just move on with life, because I don't want to relive the past and then have the same stuff happen. So maybe Danny just wanted to completely forget about it and not even think that it actually happened. And it did.
I agree with that because I know throughout my childhood I had a lot of things go on with my family, but I mean like I remember them, but like I choose not to talk about them, or like when people ask, like you said, you just say no. Because like I remember like big events like Danny getting beat. That's a big event. Um, he remembers them more than likely. He just again chooses not to talk about it because that's his past and he has moved on from that. And he wasn't like as bad as Julie was. Like that's why Julie can't forget about it because all the medications and everything that went into her body. I think that's why she can't. She can remember everything and she's okay with like talking about it because it was such like a big thing in her life. Like Danny was abused, yeah, but not as bad as Julie was. So I think like yeah, he might have forgot about it like completely, or he just knows about it, but it wasn't as bad as to where he feels the need to remember it. If that makes sense.
And that's actually what I have. Like, it wasn't as severe as Julie was, but also I feel like he just wanted to. He either didn't remember it or wanted to forget it and not relive it, or he's just putting it on the back burner and trying to deal with it himself and like try and fight his own battles with everything that happened. So I just feel like he just didn't want to come forward because she was trying to get a witness out of all this, and he said he couldn't remember. So.
How would you feel or react when Sandy told Tina to tell Sissy that Tina loves her mom? You know how she told
Yeah,
her
I know what you're talking about.
I love my mom.
Can you repeat that again? I wasn't.
Alright, how would you feel or react when Sandy told Tina to go tell Sissy that she loves her mom?
Page 235 and 236.
Alright. I would be pretty mad. I would probably wouldn't talk to her for a while, and I probably would, yeah, just wouldn't talk to her for a while.
Can you repeat your question?
Alright, so how would you feel or react when Sandy told Tina to go tell Sissy that Tina loves? Okay.
Slow it down for
How
a sec.
would you feel or react when Sandy told Tina to go tell Sissy that she loves her mom?
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, you already did it first. Why are you saying
Yeah,
oh now?
I know. I said the wrong thing, but go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I feel like that Tina does not love the mom because like of all the things she's doing to her and all the bad things she's doing to her, and I don't know how I would react. I probably just wouldn't say anything. She'd be like, yeah, I know you're lying. So
Yeah. So I'm gonna put myself in Julie's shoes. I knew that because mom would always brainwash the children growing up and say, "Oh, I feed you. You tell the doctor that I feed you, and I'm a great mom." But Julie knew deep down that it was not true. So then, when Tina told Julie that mom said, "I love mom" or whatever, what she said, Julie knew that it was a lie, and I'd be very, very upset because mom has brainwashed yet another kid.
Excuse me. That was one of my quotes actually. And I had said that like Julie knew that it was gonna happen, and she basically knew that from the beginning. After she moved out, she knew that mom was gonna find new kids to do, especially with all the foster kids that she had previous. Um, she knew that she was gonna get more kids to do this to, and I also had put like, um, with Tina saying this and Julie hearing mom say it, it like brought back her memories of when she was at the doctor's office. Like that's probably what brought back in her brain, is like her past, and that's not good for Julie in any way. So she is more than likely upset, because it's happening to another little girl, like the same age she was when everything happened. And like I said, it brought back memories that she had when she was little, and that's why she got mad and wanted to actually confront mom about it finally.
Yeah, I agree. And even on 236, it says Tina is automated just like I was. So obviously, Julie finally realized that it was just a lie. Like, obviously, Tina is just going to get treated, I guess, not as bad, but still pretty bad and be abused just like Julie was. So, just like Ashley said, mom is brainwashing these kids to say, oh, you love me? Okay, you love me. You feed me. When she actually really doesn't do anything.
Is I'm answering my own question. I don't know how I react. Like, go up in the kitchen, tell her, like, why are you telling her to say that? Like, she don't mean it. You don't have to force it upon her. Like, mold this little kid's mind into liking you.
Why do you think Julie's mom has been nice to Julie lately and really mean to Tina? Like,
I think that Julie's mom wants Julie to think that they have this perfect life and that everything has gone to normal, like there's nothing weird going on. She's not beating like Tina and everything.
I feel like mom just wants to think, well, make Julie think that she has changed when in reality she hasn't, as we all know. But yeah, mom just wants Julie to think that she doesn't beat the kids, how she's completely different, that this new husband made her change for the better. But in reality, it's still for the worse.
I think um, Julie doesn't talk to mom on a regular basis anymore. Like it's like goes years without her talking to her. So mom just has grown to realize that Julie doesn't want any like communication with her besides like the times that are necessary, I guess. But on 235, mom says, did we give you your medications today? So mom's obviously just filling Tina up with pills like she did with Julie. So I don't think mom has changed whatsoever because she still does that stuff in front of Julie. Um, she just doesn't really care anymore because again she knows that Julie doesn't want anything to do with her, and it's like almost a blessing to her when Julie does come and visit.
Right. Sorry, can you say your question again?
why do you think Julie's mom has been nice to Julie lately and really mean to Tina?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like what Megan said, the mom wants to have like this perfect vibe. So she wants Julie to think that they have this perfect mother-daughter bond between them, when actually, I guess it's not behind the curtains, but in a sense, she's just gonna take everything that she did to Julie and put it on Tina because now Julie's older and she can't do what she used to do to Julie anymore.
I agree with Vanessa and April. I think they after that, like how April said, they haven't talked for many years. They haven't talked for many years. So I think something clicked in the mother's head, saying, "Well, she's grown up now. I can't really treat her as a little kid now." So now she's like, "Okay, I have to accept she's on her own feet now. I can't control like a little kid. You can control a little kid, but you can't control a full-grown adult." So I think it clicked in her head. She can't do anything with Sissy because she's all grown up, and that's just she has to face facts.
On page 229, she says, she has made me my very own room with an electric blanket because she knows I get cold at night, with extra pillows to tuck between my knees. She has laid out the best towels. She shows me where everything is and treats me like a guest. She has brought me some clothes and given me new sheets and spring colors she's hoping I like. I climb in bed like a child and bring myself to mouth what I could not say for 7 years. I feel like um, Tina has taken over Julie's role in the house now, so she's just gonna abuse Tina now.
Okay, on page 234, mom says, Tina, goddammit, you know better than to use the stove. How many times have I told you you're not allowed to cook? Why do you think Julie's mom freaked out when Sandy was cooking?
I don't know why she freaked out, but just like when Julie was growing up, mom would always like mentally abuse the children, saying, no, like you have to be dependent on me. And maybe mom wants Tina to starve just like how she would starve Julie growing up. So it all just goes back to how Julie was raised and how mom still has not changed over the years.
I definitely agree with that. This all like just ties back to Julie not being in the house and Sandy finding another kid to abuse, and she has to treat her the same exact way that she treated Julie, because that's all mom knows, honestly, is just mentally and physically abuse the kids. And she doesn't obviously want Tina to eat because that's what she did to Julie, and she wants to find more problems with Tina so that way she can take her to the doctor and put her on more medications.
And like Ashley said, I feel like the kids are made up to be dependent on Sandy and how they're made. So not using the stove is probably okay, let's starve her. So then just more problems come up to where, okay, we have to go to the doctor again. And like April said, get more pills.
I agree with both Vincent and Ashley. I think that mom she wants them in that mindset they need to depend. It's a need to entrust the mother Sandy with everything they do, basically. And she wants them in that fixed mindset. So basically, like I said, they need her for everything.
Yeah, I feel like she may be being protective, which is kind of not like her, because I feel like that she would not. Well, she would protect her, but like if she got burned, she probably would be taking those pills. So maybe she would, in the other way, she would want her to get burned so she could go to the doctor and get those pills. Maybe like in the other way, you would think.
Do you think it's abusing her? I mean, protecting her, or like yelling at her to abuse her?
Yelling at her, yeah.
So, what I remember in my childhood, my mom used to not have me cook on the stove out of fear because of she didn't want me to burn myself or like fall and
Like the glass castle with
Like the gas-
4-year-old
yeah.
cooking hot dogs.
That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna relate to.
yeah, like she didn't want me to cook, but I don't think mom thought this way about that. I thought she would just wanted to starve her like she did with Julie.
But even then, if mom did it out of fear, Julia was right there by her side, like helping her. So
Yeah.
she wouldn't have been alone. And isn't Tina 11?
Yeah.
So like when I was growing up, she would trust me.
I was home alone at 11.
Yeah, when
Yes.
I would cook myself. I would
Cook yourself.
not cook myself, but like cook food for myself or my sister. Yeah, but mom would trust me, so I don't know why mom doesn't trust Julie and Tina. Yeah.
I was making mac and cheese.
And Julie was right there too, so that way it was another way of mom yelling at Julie
I
again.
was walking to
Since
the
they were both right there.
Or maybe it was for her mom to establish the mom in the house, how she's the only one that
Oh,
can
the
cook.
dominance or
Yeah.
whatever.
She's the only one that can do that because she's the mom in the house and she feeds you when she wants to feed you.
Yeah. So my next question is, redo it, but when Julie called mom or whatever, when they first started talking again, do you think mom changed? Like your first interpretation before we read later on that mom didn't change, but do you think that she could have changed or has changed? Do you see what I'm saying?
Is this what you're talking about on 225?
Yes.
Okay.
When, like, mom, when they first start talking, do you think mom, she was like being all nice, do you think she actually changed or not?
She changed for those couple of minutes that they were on the phone, because she was surprised that Julie was calling her. At that point, we obviously didn't know what was happening, but I think that she's still the same person that she always was when they were on the phone. I mean, it sucks reading ahead, like, after that part, knowing what actually happened, but, like, I think she only changed, like, when that phone call came through, because they hadn't talked in years. So, I think it was just a surprise to her, and she goes, like, thinking maybe, like, oh, she's gonna come back, and that's just another kid I can do whatever to. Because I honestly don't think mom really cares that she's an adult, like, because she obviously still is, like, verbally abusive to her. But yeah, I just think she changed for those couple of minutes on the phone call.
Yeah, I just think she was in shock because I mean it's been several years, so Julie hasn't even reached out until now to where okay maybe we change for those couple minutes like April was saying so we can get Julie back into my life and either verbally abuse her or physically abuse her. And obviously I mean showing with Tina and stuff she hasn't changed at all. But I feel like just those couple minutes is time for Sandy to get that other personality that we've been talking about out to show how she has changed or didn't really change, I guess.
Once again, I agree with April. I think those years that she hasn't seen her, and then just hearing your daughter's voice. I can't say personally I would do it, but like I'm pretty sure hearing your child's voice after 7 years of not hearing them does do something to you. I'm pretty sure in that particular moment when she got picked up the phone, I'm pretty sure her heart kind of warmed up. Now I'm saying yeah, she probably flaked it for those whatever minutes she was on the phone with her, but
But at first, it was like there, like she missed her at first.
Like April said, she changed for the first couple minutes, and then probably because she missed her, it was what I was thinking. So she wanted to
Half of that.
sweeten up to her, feel bad.
I agree with April. I think it was when she heard her voice after 7 years and her heart warming up. And then I think she was trying to change at the time, but obviously we know she didn't. And then she just wanted Julie to come home so that she can do it again.
Mine's kind of long, but I have like a reflection from my childhood. I said I think mom didn't change. Change is hard for some, and once you are one way, it's hard to escape the truth that you will probably never change from that unless you are willing to change. And then I said, Julie thought she changed, but I believe mom just wanted Julie back because on 228, even Julie said everything goes well. The kids laugh. She and Ed seem to be stable. She has a wedding ring on her finger, so maybe Julie thought mom has changed for the better. But then growing up, me and my uncle didn't have like a relationship with each other. We never talked or anything, and I still have not talked to him this day. But him and my dad have recently started their relationship back together because stuff happened between them a couple years ago. But my dad kept telling me, he's like, no, he's changed, he's not like how he used to be, and he used to be a complete rude, I'll put it that way. He used to be really rude to everybody, and he would keep my cousins away from me and my sister, and we would not be able to see them. They would never go to any family events. My dad's like, no, he's changed for the better, he's changed, but he never tries to talk to me at all. He never goes to Christmas events, so change is really hard for some people. So.
I agree with that, yeah. That's like with me and my dad. Obviously, I thought he changed because I wasn't there for 2 years, and then I went back and he didn't change. That's the same with my brother, too. Like, my brother hadn't talked to my dad for 4 years until my sister's funeral, and then he finally walked up to my dad and hugged him, and that was the first time they ever talked or had any altercation in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But guys are stubborn, I guess. Let's see. Okay. How much do you think mom told Ed about Julie and Danny based off the conversation the three of them had towards the end of the book when they were in the kitchen? Page 236.
Wait, hold
I
on.
know.
Say that one more time since you're on the page.
Yeah, I got
Wait,
lost.
Ashley, whose question did you answer?
She answered her own.
My own.
Oh,
How much do you think mom told Ed about Julie and Danny based off the conversation the three of them had towards the end of the book in the kitchen?
what page is this?
236. I think she probably, from Ed's experience seeing how Tina and Sandy are, I feel like he probably can base it off of that. Obviously, we all know Ed's not the smartest for even being with her, but he can probably base it off that. I feel like she probably wouldn't have said much. I don't know. I feel like she could have said it all and he would have left, or she could have said it all and he would have stayed. I feel like she obviously would have hid some stuff, like trying to make up Julie's illnesses, and um, yeah. I mean, she probably mentioned like the good parts of where she stood up for Julie, probably those good parts. But
Not about
did you
like
have something
the
you wanted to say?
Yeah, like mainly like Sandy, this is exactly what I'm saying, like what Julie says about that, and then she asks Ed to get into it, but then Ed says, well, she's not saying anything against you. So like, do you think he gets the reference that Julie's making about mom?
No, I don't. I don't know. No.
Okay, so your main question is, do you think Ed is getting what Julie's saying
Yes.
about her past? The past?
Basically, yeah.
No, Ed is blinded by the power of the Sandy.
Mm.
Okay,
Oh my god.
and Sandy had, I feel like she, like, back what Vanessa's saying, he's not the smartest fella, and to be honest, like, I'm not trying to put nobody down, but people who are not, like, really thinking they're all there, you can really play with their minds, like, you can really, like, if you really talk to someone and they're not all there, you can get them to believe anything. If you just put as much effort as you want, you can get them to believe the sky might be even green. You just gotta just really go hard at it because they're gonna believe anything you say. You feel me? Like Ed might be just one of those guys who just goes along with it because he's getting out of it. He's getting something out of listening to her. He's getting something. You know what I'm saying? He's getting something out of listening to Sandy.
I feel like he is not getting a reference. Like he said that I don't know why Ed was with Sandy. They're just
He's
not.
lonely.
Yeah, but Sandy's crazy. She's probably abusing him too. For all we know.
I think Ed has no idea what's going on. He might know like some of the good bits of like
Whipped.
of Danny and Julie, but I also think that he might suspect something that wasn't good with like the past marriage and like relationships with the children since they haven't been around for so long.
It just goes back to how mom like has brainwashed literally everybody in her life. So mom could have brainwashed him saying, "Oh, Julie was horrible. She treated me like crap." Like she probably just could have switched the conversation, saying, "Oh, Julie beat me and all of this," but it's a complete lie. So I don't think mom told Ed anything about the past.
Alright, before we go back to April, I just think he just really doesn't care because he's getting exactly what he wants out from the relationship. Okay. This is his first girlfriend.
Do you think that mom is the one that brainwashed grandma and like her whole family, or do you think that grandma's the one that brainwashed mom and then mom brainwashed the whole family?
Brainwashed everybody.
You think so?
It was grandma.
Well, how could it be Sandy when Grandma's the one that like
Crashed your car on purpose?
her
was
to
for,
start
like,
this whole
I think the whole family's just crazy.
Couldn't
Yes.
Sandy be the one that like convinced grandma to do that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think grandma just passed down the craziness to
Mhm.
everybody.
Mhm.
Gotta read your question because we're running out of time.
On page 182 and 183, so like at the beginning of our first or our last reading, what do you think Sandy got out of having Julie marry the army man, the older man that was in the army, or like try to get her to marry him? What?
Yeah, this section made no sense at all.
Yeah, so it.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, 182. Julie, look, do you think anybody's gonna want to marry a sick thing like you? The man is in the army. He's got a good job. Let him take care of you.
Army men are broke.
Sorry.
What was your question?
Yeah,
What?
was your question?
What was your question?
So my question is, what do you think Sandy, Julie's mother, got out of Julie if she's gonna marry this man?
If you don't know, you don't have to answer.
So in a sense, if Julie married the man in the army, what would Julie's mom get out of it? Like, why is Julie? Why is
She would have
Sandy
definitely got some
force
profit.
things?
Julie's mom would have definitely got some profit. She would have sold her daughter, not even thinking twice about it, and would have got all the funds from this army man. And I believe it.
Okay, Blake.
I kind of went with him, but maybe she got some bonuses from him.
What other bonuses do you need but money?
Yeah.
I think that she wants Julie out of the house. So she wants like to move on with her life, get remarried like she did, and wants Julie out of the house. And
I think mom just, that satisfaction part that we brought up in every discussion, how mom just wants what Julie like wants. See what I'm trying to
Yes,
I get what
we
you're
get
saying.
like what mom is trying to like
She's
force
choosing
everything
what
on Julie, and she's like choosing what she wants her life to be.
Mhm.
So, and Julie obviously didn't want anything, but it's just that satisfaction of, oh, Julie, you're gonna live my life how I want it. Well, your life how I wanted to growing up.
Okay,
I mean, people are
mom, they are actually. Mom, like she said, she wanted her out of the house, but mom's not gonna get any benefits from him. And honestly, the army guy probably has PTSD, so he's probably just gonna abuse Julie, which might be what mom was thinking. But even then, if you're in the army or even a veteran, you still belong to the government. So technically, he could snitch on mom, and that would get mom in trouble. So no benefits come out of that for her whatsoever. And honestly, money doesn't come out of it unless he dies and they get his benefits. So money's not
he was a lot.
money not
He
an
was a
issue.
lot older than Julie.
So
So if mom did sell Julie to him and he kept her for long, I'm pretty sure.
he belongs to the government. He can't buy people from nobody.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if she, let's say, okay, let's say.
We're not arguing. Vanessa, answer it.
Okay.
We're running out of time.
Okay, so what I got out of it is, well, obviously he's in the army, he's gonna get deployed. So what if he goes away and Julie hangs out back with mom? Could Sandy still abuse Julie? You know,
Yeah.
because her husband is gonna be gone all the time. So and then also he can't use any money in wherever he'd be going. So I mean, also they could use his money for whatever they wanted to.
okay, I honestly think that if Julie had a husband while she was like with the mirrors and like all like the rehab and all of that, I honestly think she wouldn't have made it, because she needed like that time to herself and like to like soak it in and like truly find herself and like what was wrong and what was right. And if someone was there with her, I feel like she would just like ran away or like did something bad.
Right. All right. Read your question real quick.
I don't want to take which one. Okay. I'll just go with this one. How would you feel if you were in Julie's position and found out your mother had a whole other family, even though you, like, you know, how she started talking before, and then just caught it, and then like, oh, how would you feel?
This was the one I answered before you said that last one. But I would be very mad and probably would not talk to her for a while. That's what I would do.
I feel like it was like off guard. Like she didn't think that her mom would go off and get like a whole new family and like kids and stuff. But I feel like Julie also thought in the back of her head, like, why would mom not do that? Like that's what she was raised to do.
Like I wouldn't care personally, because growing up, if I was in Julie's shoes, I didn't like mom, so I wouldn't care what she did with her life, and I haven't talked to her for 7 years. So what's my play? Like it's not my business to get into because I haven't been in her life for 7 years.
I agree with that because it was Julie's choice to not talk to mom, so she doesn't care that she has a new family. That's what Julie was hoping, so that way the attention could get off of her, and that's why she ignored mom for years on end, so that way mom could forget about her. Julie wanted her to get a new family, so she does not care.
I agree with that. I feel like she wouldn't care, but also I feel like at the same time she'd be heartbroken just for because if she still has that mindset that mom hasn't changed, because obviously she hasn't, she could just think that she could be heartbroken for the kids that Sandy is abusing now. Get to it, come on.
We have 8 minutes.
If I was in Julie's position, I would definitely, I'd be heartbroken. I've been in a similar predicament. I know how it feels to be like you haven't called your parent, like, talk, for instance, I don't really like getting into this topic, but I never really talked to my dad. He was there for a couple of years, and then it was on and off, and in my life and out of it. And one day I did call him up, and I found out he had another kid. I at that moment I was like kind of salty. I was like, damn, like you were not there for my life, and then you're about to start. You invite me to join the life you just made, and you want me to be there with my hassling? Nah, bro, you got me mad, effed up. You think you like that's bogus? I don't know. I'm fucking bogus.
Journals.
We're gonna speed through this.
Should we
Quickly-
do debriefing?
No, we have to do a journal first.
Yeah,
Read
just
the journal real
Alright.
fast, like quick.
Alright, page 224. With each mile that ticks on my odometer, my memory of my mother falls away just a little bit more. Broken cliffs dropping off into the depth of memory. The skill of this quote is 3.5B. It is 3.5B because Julie is telling us how she still likes her mom even though she has abused her when she was little. This quote shows us that Julie still loves her mom.
Page 236. My mother's eyes narrow into slits. Let me tell you something, girl. That kid is a moron. She does terrible in school. She will never admit to anything, and if I didn't take her in, nobody would. You got that? Nobody would have that son of a bitch and girl. The skill 3.5B, character, dialect. Yeah. Skill 3.5B means that you see a change for good or bad in a character. Reading this section of this page, you can see that mom has not changed at all. She honestly has gotten worse. She did this to Julie, now she's just doing the same thing to Sandy.
243. I know what it feels like to nestle a gun into my father's temple. I know what it is like to think I'm going to die at the hands of another. I know what it feels like to be cut, caged, or taken, and I know what it feels like to escape. I know what it is like to be trapped in the person they made you into and break free to the person you truly are. I said this is skill point 3.5B. Julie is describing what happened to her when she was left at home with her mother and her father. We clearly see how she has changed throughout because she has escaped home and now is a lot older, and it allows her to be free. We as the reader within a few sentences sees the change that undergoes throughout Julie's life. Now we see she was once scared to speak up of what happened, and now she is writing stories about what actually happened growing up. We see that she has finally realized it is okay to speak up.
Page 216, Anthony and I gathered the courage to call the township from a medical file. I am ready to see what they saw and strong enough to, in the truth of what really happened, read my records without derailing. This skills being used 3.2B and 3.2C, character development and story arc. This demonstrates character development because you can see that Julie is finally wanting to read and comprehend all the words and everything that mom had said to the doctors. This also demonstrates the story arc because Julie is finally going to find out the truth of everything that was determined by doctors falsely. These techniques are important for the readers because you can see that even though Julie lived through this, she is still wanting to go back and relive it so that way she can understand everything better. And also it can carry out more conflict throughout because then she'll have courage to talk to her mom about everything her mom said about her.
Page 196, the doctor rarely finds anything actually wrong with the child, but the mother goes from doctor to doctor pursuing tests and surgeries. Sometimes the mother fabricates the symptoms, sometimes she calls the son, sometimes the child is named, sometimes the child becomes sick from a combination of drugs and surgery, sometimes the child dies. This is a form called whatever. Okay, anyway, this shows how Julie is finally realizing her worth and what her mother has done to her. It shows she knows and she can reflect on everything that's happened. Julie is developing as a character who from a little girl to an adult who's gone through an experience that no one's gone through, helps the reader understand how they can fight through their experience.
Page 203. I still talk to my mother because I need to. I am half formed larva without her. She lives in Montana now on the reservation and treated with her American Indian lover. I said 3.5B because shows character that she, even though she still has more to grow, she's saying she's still a larva and she still has a lot to grow without her mother.
So go through and say like one thing that you thought went well and one thing that you wish we worked upon or something you didn't like throughout?
I liked how we did our questions again. I wish we would have maybe had a little bit more time to read our journals.
I agree with Blake. I think we did good with everything. I think we got even better than last time, and I feel like we should have more time.
I like how we had a lot, all of us had insights and page numbers throughout, but I didn't like how we kept interrupting each other and how we quickly got off task with things.
I agree with that. Ms. Burns had mentioned the interrupting at the beginning. It's okay when you are like talking back and forth, not arguing, like with a question, like me and you, like we talked about our like own personal stories before it changed. Interrupting is needed to work on. We all had everything done this time, which was a great thing because the discussion like flowed a lot more. So good job with that. And all the questions are actually really good this time.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just wish we had more time because we just kind of rushed things, especially in like the last 10 minutes during our journals and stuff. So it sucks that we even have like a time to block because we don't really get the potential that we really want to learn through this book.
Did you mean that?
Yes.
I felt that.
Okay, great.
I just want to say I came prepared this time a little bit. Not really, just a tad prepared, and that if we have another discussion, I will enjoy it with you guys.
All right, and we're done.